an honor to stand in the well of the House. I consider this an extraordinary privilege. Mr. Speaker, there are seminal moments in time that can impact the rest of time. Seminal moments, sometimes where wrong is placed on the throne, where might is used to justify wrong. Seminal moments in time. But Mr. Speaker, might cannot make wrong right. Might cannot make wrong right. It can only prolong wrong. Seminal moments in time where might is used to justify wrong. Might did not make slavery right. There were those who used false religiosity to try to justify slavery. They had the might, they had the power, they could impose their will, but might will not make wrong right. Might did not make segregation right, to force people to go to separate areas, to use a level of power to impose an indecency upon a people. Might can never make wrong right. Mr. Speaker, might has not made invidious discrimination right. It still exists today. And no matter how much power we have, we will not make it right simply because we have the power to try to justify it with the might that we have. And finally, Mr. Speaker, might will not make bigotry emanating from the presidency right. It will not. There are many who want to just let it go. Let it go. The bigotry, put it behind us. Bigotry emanating from the presidency impacts this country. It gives this country a stained image in the world. The president represents this country. He represents every one of us. We may differ with him, but he is the standard bearer. And the bigotry that emanates from the presidency is something that we all have to concern ourselves with. We can't just say it's all over with. Let's let that go. Yes, it has happened and it continues to happen. And might will not make it right. He has power, but his power is not going to cause his invidious and harmful commentaries to become right. So I'm here today to simply say this, Mr. Speaker, that while the president has the power, impeachment is the remedy. A president who has said that there were some good people among those in Charlottesville, a president who would ban Muslims from the country, a president who has said LGBTQ persons shouldn't be in the military, a president who has called the sons of some professional athletes, called their mothers dogs, SOBs, a president who has said that in...
And
Mr. Speaker, this type of language has been accepted on the floor of this House. Language to the presidency and the administration
all members
all the
will
time.
suspend. Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities towards the president. May continue.
Mr. Speaker, the presidency is about the people. It's about the people's house. And the people have a right to address this invidious discrimination emanating from the presidency. I'm not going to stand for it. Others may stand for it. You know that there's bigotry emanating from the presidency. Yet you would not want me to stand here and address it. I will address it. This president has exhibited a kind of bigotry that this country ought not tolerate. And when he said that there were some S-hole countries, as he was addressing his immigration policy, he was putting his bigotry into policy. And that is something that we all should concern ourselves with. The fact that the president's policies are based upon his bigotry.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Impeachment is the remedy. I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities towards the president.